And that's also how I consume the Andy Griffith Show.
Okay.
I love this episode.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh Warring Michaels, and today, as always, I am joined by
Megan, doppelganger Perrine.
Cody the Owl Decker.
Very good. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode
Oh my God.
of Volume 1. Today we are covering, finally,
Megan didn't get it very
we've
good.
gotten so many requests to cover this series, and we're finally doing it. Kingdom! Volume 1 of Kingdom. We've been getting requests to do this series probably all the way back since we covered Volume 1 of Berserk, probably all the way back since Vagabond. People in the comments, so many people have been requesting this, and you know, I don't know how much I want to reveal up top, but you know, it's a classic, and I understand why people love it, but I don't think it was for me. But we're going to wait and see how maybe Megan and Cody feel about it. But before we do, obviously, we appreciate you being here. We heard all of your comments. It's going to be another classic Volume 1 episode. So I hope you're ready to hear it all and just go through this first volume with us. So having said that, Megan, Cody, what did you know about it going into it? What did you expect? And how did you feel upon first read?
I knew it was similar to Vagabond just because it's set it's Berserk too, like set in the past. And I knew that it had something to do with a sword wielding.
Sure.
And that's pretty much all I knew about it. I knew there was like a kingdom involved.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew nothing. I thought the art was good, and then I was all I thought reading it was, man, I really did like Vinland Saga, didn't I?
Yeah, Vinland Saga was a far superior story. I'm going to come right out and say I'm going to be more bold, more direct, and just say I didn't like it.
Oh, we can do that now.
Oh,
Yeah.
sheesh.
I didn't like it. It was not for me. I felt like it was all the bad parts of Berserk, but for an entire manga, for an entire volume. Meaning that it focused on so much more of the historical war, ranking of royalty, power dynamics, which, you know, I do like. Specifically, just hearing the word ranking now makes me think of Ranking of Kings, or even things like Game of Thrones, like I am a fan of. And even did like Vagabond, I think, way more than I liked this. I understand why people like it. Wasn't for me. Didn't know what to expect going into it. The art style made it look like it was a lot older than I thought it was initially, too. But here we are to go through exactly why I didn't really cotton to it. But, you know, it's got an anime that has also been released. And the anime, the first season at least, I think there are 3 seasons that are out. And season 1, awful. The animation style was very similar to the 1990 or the
2016 Berserk. It's
Berserk.
very 3D. And again, it's like some shots you're like, okay, and others it's just like kind of draggy and slow.
Mhm.
I'm not sure the reason why they went that direction, because I think it would have made a really good
Sure.
2D anime. But who knows?
And we watched the trailer for the live action Kingdom movie.
Looks much better than the anime.
Looks amazing.
It looks like better than the manga.
Questionable music choices in the trailer. But
Was that Lady Gaga doing like?
sounded
Yeah.
like you said, even Katy Perry when we were first watching it.
Yeah. I didn't want to repeat the joke to you. Like, so
Yeah.
it was like everything looked better, but then there's sword fighting, and then it's like
It was like
you're a
Yeah.
firework.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it sounded like a trailer song for like a dog who like loses his way from home and then like
Yeah.
comes back
Yeah,
and
one
like
of the Air Bud sequels.
yeah, and how like the family's just like distraught about like him leaving home, and he finds like, you know, himself, you know.
Yeah.
I took
exactly.
it. Yeah, it seemed more of like the music that would go over those rom-coms,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then it's like
Triumph.
midway through they get into an argument and they split up.
Yeah.
And then they get back together.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about the dog. Maybe
it is about
Maybe.
the dog.
they adopt
Oh
a
my
dog
God.
together and then they break up.
Mm.
It did feel like, Vanessa
Muscle up
Hudgens
dogs.
should have made an appearance in that trailer based on
Yeah.
just
It had
the
like
song.
PowerPoint transition shots where it would just like the kingdom will rise and
Yeah.
then like the little
The music.
the little glowing like
Yeah.
This is me.
I can see
Yeah.
Addison
We're
Rae doing
gonna
a
make
TikTok
it.
dance to that
We're
song.
gonna make it.
yeah. But the costume,
maybe that's the way to advertise movies now.
Oh,
Maybe.
yeah.
The costume design, the set design, the characters
Looked
the-
fantastic.
I mean, it looked cinematic. The cinematography was beautiful. The scale of it looked amazing. Far better than the anime and manga. And it did look like it also stayed pretty faithful too from the trailer, which,
Yeah, so what is brother stories about like wanting to become like the mightiest warrior? Is that like a common thing in Japan? Because like Vagabond,
Yeah.
all but that's based on a story. So is this also based off that legend?
well, this is, I don't know if it's based off of because like you said, yeah, Vagabond is loosely based on an actual person. And this, I don't think is based on an actual person, but it is based on, I think, an actual war, maybe. It takes place, maybe. I maybe should have looked into that more, but I know it takes place in China. And I can't remember exactly what war Vagabond focused on, but with Vagabond, I think I did care more about the relationship between the two main characters, or the main character and his friend. And I think that his friend was more interesting and he did some questionable things in the first volume, but I think it made for a better story. This was just very sort of like straightforward, formulaic.
It felt like I was visiting other stories. Where I would a little bit of Prince Freya.
Prince Freya is exactly what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, it was kind of like, it would be like, is this a shonen version of Vagabond? And what manga is this now? Oh, look at this. Oh, remember Vinland Saga? I do.
Yeah.
And
here you can see us. Now we're passing the Vinland Saga portion of
Look to your right, everyone. Get
Yeah.
your cameras out.
We are now slowly approaching the Prince Freya panel.
It's Prince Freya. Prince Freya.
Yeah.
Is he Prince Freya?
And to finish out our tour, we are coming to. Did I already say Vinland Saga? I already did.
Hit him
Yeah.
with it.
Did I already?
Do it anyway.
Oh, and to finish out our tour, we're swinging back around to Vinland Saga.
Oh my God, Vinland
Yeah.
Saga.
And honorable mention Vagabond too. Couldn't make it for this tour.
Oh.
I don't know. Point is, I wanted to talk about
You
Prince
mentioned
Freya.
Vagabond.
Oh, I wanted to mention Prince Freya because Prince Freya, I think, was so good, and it's a shoujo, I think, right? So, on the surface, maybe people are a little more hesitant to dive into that series because it is, more the characters, especially the male characters, are, beautiful men being charming, but it is, based on plot, very similar in that it takes place with a peasant as a main character who looks a lot like the prince. That peasant has to fill in for the prince. But I just think that Prince Freya is a far superior story. It made me care so much more about everybody and everything in one volume.
The only person I really liked was the owl person.
Yeah.
The kid. Yeah.
The highlight.
Everything outside of that, I was sort of just like, it's a video game story. Little village, it's gonna get attacked, and hero's journey. You have two choices to make. Is he gonna go back to his village? Oh, he didn't. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There was a couple moments where, like, I liked the writing between the characters. Like, there was, like, some dialogue choices that I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. But it did, a lot of it get lost for just explaining, obviously, what's happening with, like, the war and, the king. And that's just not, like, something I'm super interested in. So, like, the moments that were between the characters, I was, like, really holding on to because that's all I really was interested in. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I think, maybe because of Berserk or Vagabond, people assumed or expected us to really like this series, but it just focused to me on the wrong aspects of what is also in those stories, but not what those stories are about.
Yeah, it's like, they both have swords, and I'm like, that's my criteria.
And also, too, just to talk about, like, how it's not a recent story. It has been out for a very long time, but I mean, just based on the cover, I don't know why I thought it had been out for way longer, but it actually was first published in 2006, which is old, but not that old. And apparently it has 62 volumes. The anime came out in 2012, and it's by the same studio that did Yu Yu Hakusho. And I think that the animation style, based on what we saw, does change, and they seem to have course corrected and fixed their problem. Unless it is also similar to Berserk in the way that the OP looked amazing, and then the actual series looks like a video game, like a bad video game. But other than that, I guess we can start going through it. I mean, do you guys have anything else you want to say up top about it?
I didn't have any highlights to write down except for the owl person.
Yeah, this is going to be an experiment in how far we can get.
I have a couple. You know, I like to look at the good, and the bad.
Yeah, and the ugly. And I think
you can't appreciate the good unless you hate the bad.
Some people would say that. And I do think also...
Mostly me.
Yeah, and I do think also that, there are some good things about it, but I just think that they are very few and far between. For me personally, these are, of course, our opinions. And we're not saying that this is...
this isn't my opinion. I'm just gonna say all this.
It's just fact.
Yeah.
Well, if you're here and you still have no idea what Kingdom is about, here is a synopsis. So, 2 boys who work as slaves dream of becoming great generals. An opportunity arises when one of the boys is taken away to the capital. However, he returns on the brink of death. Shin, the other boy, vows he will continue their dream, and he does everything in his power to survive on the battlefield and become a superior commander.
Now, working as a slave, that means you're an indentured servant, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think slavery in any form is bad, Cody.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you can work some of it into like maybe a bedroom situation.
What?
As like a fetish maybe. And if there's safe words and if there's things in place where everybody feels comfortable and everybody feels safe, then I think you can maybe have some sort of slave sort of dynamic in the bedroom.
Of course, but like in a story.
Of course.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in general.
Oh, no, I mean,
it sounded like a general question. Like, how do you feel about that? Let's open up that dialogue.
Yeah. I thought you were asking me just like in the world. How do I feel about it?
You think it's hot? You think slavery is hot? Was your response to how you feel?
I didn't say
I think that's a very hot take, and I think that's what people come for is hot takes. Josh thinks slavery is hot.
First of all, no. Second of all, you're kink shaming right now. Not me, but you are kink shaming people who are listening who are into that.
And you're slavers.
Maybe they like to be the slave.
Look, we have a huge slaver audience.
Maybe they like to be the slave in the dynamic. You don't know.
I know.
Okay. Something tells me I already know what you are too in the dynamic. Anyway.
This is simple. I know.
In a story, Cody.
Fuck.
It just felt like when it started, it felt like it was so much Vagabond.
Yeah.
That I couldn't help but think Vagabond did this better.
I just reading and I'm like, is this the same story? That they're like, because they don't own the rights to the fable.
Yeah.
So like they could just be like, well, here's our take on that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, well, that's crazy that the same beats.
And of course, getting ahead of it as much as we can. I'm sure the story becomes and changes and is great later on. But this is, of course, going to be about Volume 1. I think what you're also talking about is similar to like how the Monkey King is Goku, and in that video game trailer you showed us, like there are a lot of iterations of the Monkey King legend because
Wukong, he's in Warframe.
Yeah, which is that trailer you showed us, right?
No, I showed you the Chinese they're making a Wukong game.
Looks amazing
to like celebrate their culture or whatever. Journey West.
You don't have to say or whatever.
Yeah, you could have just said celebrate their culture.
Well, also to make money and stuff.
Which is.
Or you could just say celebrate the culture and make money.
Or whatever.
I mean, I don't think
the implications.
Yeah, you kind of said it with an implication.
What's the implication?
A negative connotation.
How so?
Negative
I'm the one who's excited about it. You guys aren't even going to play it.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, definitely not. Actually, not probably not.
What the hell are you talking about?
I might play it.
You did me a favor by watching it.
I did like it though. I like the trailer.
But will I play it?
No.
Not
What if
on
it's
your
co-op? We
life,
can
not
play
on your
together.
life.
Oh no.
Um,
But it starts off with 2 kids, 2 friends, 2 slaves, 2 indentured servants fighting, training.
and I didn't read the synopsis, so
Mhm.
pretty much halfway through maybe chapter 2 is when I realized that Piao, I think it's Piao.
You're on
I know
your own
one of
on
them's
this
name is Shin, based on
Shin
the
and
synopsis.
Piao. I thought Piao was a girl.
Yeah, the whole time.
Very pretty, and I was like, okay. And then when all the stuff went down, I was like, okay, a woman going to the palace, like,
Yeah.
okay, but no,
yeah.
it wasn't that. No,
No, I
that
think-
makes more. It makes
I went back and I looked at the body shots. Like, no, I swear to God, I see breasts.
Yeah,
I
it was
don't-
weird.
I don't really want to call anybody out. It's not really why I'm here.
Oh.
But I did notice that while Megan was reading it, we were reading 2 different translations. I did notice that. And
I'm not gonna call anyone out.
I'm not. I'm not going to call anybody out.
Exact.
No, because I'm not saying that I read an official translation either.
I read the most official.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I'm not putting that on wax.
So you don't
But-
think you think they're a guy or a girl?
You think
In
that I
the
was
version I read, they called that character a he.
That's when I
what-
found it out.
That's
No,
what-
but you said until the chapter 2. But they called
I
that
mean,
character
it's
a he
all a
for
blur.
me on the first page. Or the first page that character was introduced.
This has happened before where I have skipped over that because I'm like, no, that's a
Mm.
girl, and then I had to that's what I did is I had to go through and check because I also didn't oh, did they just think they were?
Yeah, but I figured it out.
So I don't know if that's necessarily calling someone
got
out
it.
so much as being it took them a while to
Took a while to get it. Took me a while
Right.
to perceive what was under I don't know. I was trying to
Well,
make a joke.
I mean, you had him.
I had him.
Everything.
I know.
We turned it around, and all you had to do was finish the job.
Final, the finishing blow.
Damn
it. Well,
Oh, now
Looks
his
like,
health meter resets.
Now my kingdom crumbles.
and that is how the kingdom crumbles.
Oh,
That's
damn it!
good.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
only thing I could think of is Kingdom not coming,
Okay.
because Kingdom come,
Kingdom come, thy will be done.
and then this
As
rather.
earth on it is in heaven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not a preacher.
Neither am I. Friend. The way you looked at me, I'm not a preacher.
Oh, Josh,
Oh,
because
that
he screeches out.
So funny.
Well, no, like a screecher. Because remember we were eating candy and he was
when he's
screeching at us?
shrieking,
shrieking,
he's
Oh,
shrieking,
shriekingly. Yeah.
Okay.
You
can't eat
candy off Mike.
Okay, we specifically put the mics away from our mouth.
How dare you?
Everyone in the chat, tell them they suck. Everyone's fine with it. And then you shrieking then he literally started crying. He
Mhm.
turned the cameras off. That's why the live stream
Yeah,
ended.
we had to stop for a minute because he needed
Oh, you're
a
jumping
moment.
in on this too?
What do you mean jumping in? It's like factual.
Jumping in
Okay.
on remembering
I don't want to
things.
call anyone out. But,
Now that is how you do a full circle on someone.
but yeah, I swear I thought it was a woman and then it wasn't a woman, so it's fine, whatever. They're both war orphans or not actually related.
Which is a dope name.
War orphan
Yeah.
The most horrifying thing,
that we don't, in any way, shape, or form.
it's a tragedy.
condone, yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
a cool name.
Yeah.
A cool name. You mean title?
Like if
Someone's experience?
there was a group
Called
of
the War Orphans.
you'd be like that's probably
like a gang?
say gang, like a squad out for revenge.
Yeah.
Squad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's get into that. You don't think there's a difference between a squad and a gang?
Squadron?
There's some argument for that.
Really?
There is some.
Okay.
I can't think of any.
Or whatever.
Or whatever.
Oh
And that's how I feel about this series. Whatever.
my god.
Yes, War Orphans, training. They've had multiple matches. They're pretty evenly
like
matched.
1,000 or something.
Yeah, 300 wins for one, 300 losses for one. Certain amount of draws. Totals over 1,000. But it's also to let us know that they're on pretty much equal footing.
Mm-hmm.
They go back after their training session to their home, where we learned that the mayor of that village has been forced, as one of his obligations as mayor, to take care of them, and hates taking care of them. Almost feels like a sort of a what's the family name that the Harry Potter was with?
I
The
forgot.
Hufflepuffs.
No.
No,
The family.
the Dudleys, whatever they are.
So, something like that.
Well,
The balloon people.
Yeah, right.
The balloon
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just feels sort of like that because there
The
is
Michaels.
There is a character like a little like Dudley. And Dudley had a little bit of a glow up. I'll just have you know him and Neville.
Neville.
Nephilim. I don't know where my mind is going.
Yeah, you're getting fucking visions. The Nephilim foretold it.
Him and Neville had a little bit of a glow up. So thank you, Cody. I appreciate the compliment. I take it.
But they like one more than the other. They don't like
Yes.
Shin.
Yes,
They
don't
like beat
Shin.
his ass pretty much all the time because they'd say right in the beginning like he can't cook, he can't clean, he's like super just not a cool guy. But Piao, cool. That's a cool guy.
This is
Better
all-
guy.
Better guy.
It's similar to when I see something where the character's like, I can't swim, and I'm just like, I mean, because it's like, well, I learned by being thrown into water. Someone's like, what do you mean you can't swim? Whenever they're like, I can't cook, I'm like, what are you talking about? You eat food. Like, do you not?
I can't cook.
Some people
You
can't
don't
cook.
you don't make your own food?
I try, and sometimes I fail. A lot of the time I fail.
If you give it a week of like testing and eating and experimenting, you'll like get like its food's not hard.
Mm.
Well, I think a lot of people have been asking and wanting
Especially
to know.
back then. Well, you didn't do the potatoes, right?
Yeah, that's true. There's
Well,
a
maybe
lot
there
less
weren't as much
ingredients.
seasoning.
Yeah.
Maybe cooking was harder back then, because they didn't have these spices readily available, so you had to do a little couple
And
extra little tricks.
Over a fire, different type of cooking.
Different type of beast.
Well, yeah. So it's like, well, once you learn how to cook a steak once, what else are you gonna make? You gonna make a cake?
Yeah, but Cody, I don't mean to really attack you. Again, I'm not here to call anybody out, but like, I don't think you have a refined palate at all.
That's simply not true.
And I honestly, frankly, don't believe in your ability to cook whatsoever. I think you eat food that's edible.
You eat food out of a bag that's powder.
Yeah.
That's true.
Your biggest priority.
There were reasons for that.
But you still do it.
I do still do it.
Like
and there's
flavor-
still reasons for it.
Flavor's so, I feel like, low on the list for you.
It became that way.
And I think
But
it's
that
been so
means
long.
that I enjoy flavors all the more now that I mostly eat something that's flavorless. That's why, people's tongues are fried by how many seasonings they use when it's like, you don't need them. And I grew up making most of my own meals.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I know how to survive.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up making food too, but I don't think I got good at it until I really started to put an effort in, And a lot of people have been asking and wondering, and, as the host of the famous Volume 1 segment, Josh's Kitchen, I think I know a thing or two about cooking, and maybe it's making a comeback.
That's just because my kitchen is miles away from the studio.
You can have access to
I
our
made
kitchen.
garlic bread bagels. No one's ever. No, I can. When's my opportunity to showcase that?
Well, you know
Why
what?
don't you save them and bring them?
Because
Thanksgiving's
I ate
coming
them
up.
all.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Friendsgiving, maybe,
Maybe
is coming up and happening.
I can make. First of all, I can make guacamole.
That's not a Thanksgiving food, though.
Yeah.
What do you mean? How so?
We don't have tortilla chips at Thanksgiving.
Depends,
Well,
I
also
guess
depends
it
on what side of the
depends.
family
Mm.
yeah.
you make a everything bagel, guacamole with bacon, and then cheese for you people because everything needs cheese on it.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, why is that?
Cheese is fantastic.
It overwhelms the other flavors,
A
which
nice-
goes to
Okay,
this
good.
idea.
Gruyere.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
A nice maybe. What?
What are you gonna make on Friendsgiving?
Also,
I got fucking freaking ham
You're fine.
from a. I got a connection to a beekeeper, so I get raw organic honey all the time.
I got
that goes
goes
on-
on.
that goes on-
Honey, dude.
That
Wow.
goes on a honey glazed ham, and it's amazing.
so you got a bee connect.
Yeah,
Cool.
you don't think that's cool? Did I not give you a jar?
Josh, is that
You absolutely did not give me a jar.
you,
Well,
you,
this is why. Do you
not
want one?
you not
I do,
having
yeah.
a honey connect? Does that sting?
It stings.
Okay.
It does sting.
I just
It
don't
does sting.
think cooking is like.
Yeah, it's kind of overrated, and just eat fast food every day
I would
and
love
live
to
off
do-
potato chips.
I would love to do a challenge. Here we go.
Mhm.
Hear me out. Let us know in the comments, right? Megan has no idea who prepared what dish. Okay.
Now with that,
Blind taste test.
I didn't want to attack anybody, but when we went to go get pho and we compared broths, whose broth was better?
Okay.
Because did we not do a similar
I didn't know
experiment?
I didn't know that was like, I didn't know what we were like showcasing our talents there. I was just eating the way I like to eat. I wasn't.
Yes. And you were seasoning. You used much more seasoning too. Whereas I followed the techniques and structures and experiences of flavor. And what was the verdict, Megs? You're not gonna like saying it,
What
but you
was
have
the
to say it.
verdict?
You can't
Yeah,
lie.
what was the verdict?
I did like Cody's better.
Now,
Interesting. That's
Josh,
really
what did
interesting.
you do? Did you smother it
I'm
in?
gonna remember that.
Did you smother in sriracha?
But
I
it was
didn't smother
spicy.
it in sriracha. I absolutely didn't. Did I put sriracha?
Why
in
was
it?
the broth red?
Because you put a little dab of sriracha in it, it's turning red. Okay, it's turning red like me right now. Okay,
Thinker.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
can't cook.
cooking's hard. He can't cook. He can't clean. He can't
right,
do
right.
shit.
We're talking about
okay.
kingdom.
Yeah, kingdom. Okay.
I just
Wing
want to see
Kingdom.
what happens if I really lean into not liking a series. Just kind of want to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm curious because we have had a lot of comments saying we should read this.
Yeah.
And based off of what we've done in the past, I understand why it would make sense. Obviously, you want to hear us talk about it and we want to read it. But yeah, the war, if it just, a little bit, a lot a bit less, it would have been maybe more entertaining. But it's fine. Anyway, I do like these two characters, even though they are kind of like basic in a way. Because I did the payoff for like the emotional moments, like I did believe, so that was cool. What do you guys think? No,
this is
Not
one of
at
those
all?
things where I'm reading it and I'm like, do they like this? And then when I'm like, when they're like, we're not too warm on it, I'm like, that's great.
You didn't like it either, then.
No, but I read things and I'm like, do they like this?
Yeah, for me, I think I agree. I think I agree that it just had too much war stuff. There's nothing worse than like turning to a page and you just see paragraphs of word bubbles explaining like what someone's either role in this army or to this kingdom is, and like where they come from and whose child that they are, and there was
a point where I was just thinking about exposition dumps.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a part where it's like and then you see like a shot of like skulls and they kill thousands. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know why. I was just thinking about like, does this normally feel less like out of place in other stories?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because I was really just like, oh, it's exposition time.
Again. So just to get back on track, Bad Cook, they are war orphans, equal footing. They're out training again the following day, and a man who looks to be of royalty, or at least
high
a ranking sort of warrior, they call him. He looks specifically like a warrior to them, sees them, likes what he sees. Sounds a little weird when you say it like that, but likes what he sees in their skill, goes back to their village. They see him talking to the mayor, their, foster father, and basically saying that he wants to take one of them back to the castle with him, back to the royal city with him. The character who is our main character's best friend takes some time to think about it. There is a cool moment where he says, I need some time. The other character says, why would you not jump on this opportunity? And the mayor is thinking the same thing. And then they're kind of sleeping together at night. And he says, I'm not going to go because I don't want to take a shortcut. And then he says, is that really who you think I am? Is that really what you thought I would say? Or how
like
I
I'm
would
going.
react? Yeah, I'm for sure going.
And I like that.
Yeah, I thought that was fun. I was like, did he do that just to fuck with him, or
maybe because he knew what he was thinking.
Yeah.
He's known him for so long.
Because he's like, he's like, I'll take I'll take you, but not you. And like, can't they come with me? No, never. You'll never see them again. And like, can I have a day to think about it?
Mm-hmm.
And then they go like, of course I'm gonna go. So like,
oh, so did he take the whole day just to fuck with him?
Yeah, because like, if he was like, did you really think I wasn't gonna go? It's like, well, you said you needed a whole day to think about it.
Well, maybe he wanted to spend one more day with him.
Maybe that's
there
it.
was a line where he says like, can you help me sleep? And I'm like, what is that? What do you?
I don't remember that line.
There's a line in
Yeah.
I don't know what you're reading.
That was an ad that popped up during.
Oh, can I help you sleep?
there. You know what?
Text me now.
There was a part in the middle of a chapter that I thought like this story really picked up, and there's like it was just a local single.
Yeah, it was weird when you started talking about how like in chapter 3 there was just a phone number that you called.
Yeah,
I just didn't know what.
Yeah,
it
what part that was.
They linked me
to
to a dating site where you just need to verify your identity by giving your credit card, which makes sense.
Oh, and social, huh?
Yeah,
I think I used the same one.
Well, that way it's safe.
Yeah, that
because
way
everyone there is
it's
like
secure.
Yeah.
Well, why wouldn't I just then? I feel like you would love this series then.
Well, we'll see how the
Oh,
I need to wait for they didn't respond back to me yet.
but they're going.
They're
They said they
going
can't wait
to.
to meet me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what it is that truthfully, with a lot of those sites, they get really like busy.
Yeah, and you
Mm.
said the deposit in already, so you're like, you're good.
I think-
your spot is reserved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it just needs to verify.
it
well,
takes
good
some
luck, man.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish the best for you, and I think it's gonna work out. But yeah, so they're I was trying so hard to keep a straight face.
Because you kind of maintain the podcast voice.
Yeah, it was really hard to do. But he says he can only take one of them back. He ends up going, and then we kind of cut to a month later. A month has passed. His friend is there, and everybody in the village is saying like, "Wow, you've kind of matured a little bit. You seem a little different. You don't seem as like spunky as you used to seem." And he hears whispers at the local merchant area or wherever he's buying, his ingredients for his shitty cooking at. That there is a scuffle or there is a coup d'etat at the castle between the two brothers. Different factions are trying to overthrow different kings because the main king died. And he hears that the guy who came to get his friend, brother, whatever, was on the side of the king that has the weaker army. And that army, probably because there was an explosion, there was a fire, there was a smoke, that army probably was defeated, therefore his brother is probably dead, or his friend is probably
Yeah, and
dead.
he's told that to his face. He's like, well, they're not coming back anytime soon. They're probably dead. And he's just like, what?
Yeah, piles of bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he gets in his face about it, he like doubles down. The guy doubles down.
Yeah.
Which he could have said like in that moment, if I would have, if that would have happened in real life, I would have said, well, I don't know for sure. I don't know what your, friend looks like.
Yeah, but he went.
Thousands of people.
But
are
he
dead.
went like, oh no, but
He's
he's
for
for sure dead.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
he's-
You don't even try to look or don't even try to ask. No, he's gone. Don't.
Which in any story, you're like, well, that means they're not dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not. But this part was kind of cool. This was
Mhm.
maybe a highlight, I guess, for me, right? Where he hears a knock on the door late at night, and it, turns out that his friend is crawled all the way back.
Crawling in his skin,
These wounds, they do not heal.
which it didn't.
They did not.
They didn't.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
said-
Hell yeah.
I said, peow, more like chow,
Okay. I'm into it. Yeah.
like bye.
Yeah, we
Did you guys get it?
we got yeah.
Immediately undermined.
No, I missed it. Like
Meow.
Yes.
like what? Meow.
No.
Whoa, that was good.
Completely opposite reaction
Yeah.
there.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good. No.
Yeah. I love this episode. Just gonna say it.
I really feel like this story can be summarized in like a 5-minute conversation.
It really can. But we're not here to do that. His friend is there on the brink of death, telling him that there was a coup d'etat, that he was on the losing side, that he crawled all the way back to give him this map, and that he needs to go to this location between two, I think it is rivers, and find something that is, at the time, a secret, but he needs to go there. He needs to find that thing for him, because immediately our main character, Shin, I believe, wants to get revenge on whoever did this to him, but he's telling him, no, don't avenge me. You need to go here. And so he goes there. But while he's on his way there, assassins come to the village,
Mm-hmm.
which his friend also told him would be following shortly behind him.
Yeah, and that guy's scary.
Yeah, you said it reminded you of another character from from
Ranking of Kings. I mean, not
The
as
Big Hero
scary.
6.
The Big
Oh.
Hero 6. The Big Hero.
He reminded you of the Big Hero.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Big Hero 6.
Wow.
Yeah, he was pretty scary. And then we get that crazy scene where he's like having that scuffle between the mayor and his son, and he like stabs his son
Through
in the
the leg,
leg, and that was pretty intense.
Which looking at him like, I mean, they're for sure dead now, right? I mean, that was through their thigh.
Well, maybe their leg is for sure gone.
yeah.
Or
Yeah,
are they
back
gonna-
then.
Are
it
they going
was-
to be able to amputate successfully back then
I mean, maybe cauterize it. Maybe they just slice it off and then they cauterize it.
with like a superheated katana?
Yeah. Yeah. I would have loved to see that panel. And that was a kind of a moment of, redemption for this punk ass.
Yeah, the little kid.
Yeah, who didn't like the main character but did like the other character. So when the assassin went to go kill him, he was like, no, because they were supposed to pretend like they didn't know him.
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, it was like, who wouldn't scream about someone dying?
I mean, if you didn't care and your life was in danger.
I don't know him. I don't care about you killing them.
Yeah, like if I really didn't know the person, if I really didn't know, then I would like turn away. I wouldn't say anything
Yeah,
because they're already dead. I mean, they're already dead.
Mm.
You know,
This is
Wow.
something you're like sure about yourself.
Yeah, you're sure that if you were put in that situation, that's how you would
let's
react.
just say I'm positive.
What?
But if it was one of you guys, like if it was you, Cody, I would scream, dude. I would scream so fucking loud. If it was you, they'd have to take both my legs because I wouldn't stop chasing them. Yeah, I wouldn't stop.
It reminded me of Act Age.
Really? In what way?
Remember when she's a background actor, but she's too good and she's
Yeah.
bringing. She's
Oh
like,
yeah.
I really thought it was my brother being killed
Yeah.
by the
Yeah.
samurais.
Yeah. Yep. God, what a bad series.
You're drawing attention away from the main celebrities.
What was also so weird about, I think, this whole situation was that assassin later on has a moment of redemption that any other assassin would have that would be a lie to get the upper hand against whoever was trying to take him out.
Mhm.
But it ended up, I guess, just being true.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
And that was kind of strange.
Which is like, if you're an assassin, don't have any connections to anyone. That's like number one rule of being an assassin, right?
yeah, maybe he was forced to be an assassin.
I think
maybe.
you work in the shadows to serve the light.
Yeah.
I think that's the number one rule of assassins.
Mm.
If it's not, I mean, I really like the way that sounds.
You never played Assassin's Creed? No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. No.
No. You would like the story of Assassin's Creed.
I mean, the movie was all right.
No, it wasn't.
I didn't
Well,
see
you
it.
didn't play.
I didn't see it. I couldn't lie.
You did. You just got.
Josh is savage today.
I'm not savage.
You
I'm
are
just-
savage.
I'm not savage. I'm just telling the truth.
Did you see the movie?
No.
Yeah, it was. I mean, honestly, it was just like a fever dream where you're like, oh, they just didn't know what to do here. Cool concept.
I mean, it's a bummer. It does seem like it would have made a great movie.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
Yeah, you know the premise of it, of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, dude. I can tell you if you want.
Do it. Because I was gonna.
No, you
we were
don't.
gonna. You tell me the premise
No,
before
you don't.
we finish. Tell me the premise of Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
Mhm.
First of all, great series.
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed. Great series, great video game franchise, great property. And I think that you're really gonna like it actually. What it's about is it's about a guy who comes from a family, his lineage, they were all assassins. His whole family was assassins. And what's crazy is he goes through this like futuristic sort of like, it's almost kind of like the Matrix, right? But it's also kind of like Minority Report a little bit. And he goes into this facility, right? And he gets transported into the bodies of his ancestors who were assassins. Did I get it kind of right?
You are kind of right.
Thank you.
Where's the Creed though?
That's like the
Creed
sequel
is-
to Rocky.
And that is a great movie starring Michael B. Jordan.
I didn't see it.
That's a fantastic movie. We should watch Creed. What did I get wrong?
We didn't get. He's reliving the genetic memories.
That's what I said.
You said transported into his ancestors' bodies.
Yeah, genetically.
And I said memories as well.
Yeah. I guess you don't have good memory.
I don't.
Fight in the shadows to save the light.
Serve in the shadows and to serve in the fries.
That does kind of remind me like when I would go to a Denny's. I like to be served in the shadows. You know?
Yeah, you tell them to turn off a certain part of the Denny's,
Yeah.
turn off all the
I
lights
just
so I can
unscrew the
eat.
bulb above the
Yeah,
booth.
sir, please don't do that.
I
Yeah.
eat in the shadows.
I don't want anyone to see me.
Yeah.
So you can serve me the fries.
Speaking
serve
of
the
shadows,
Yes.
the map
The
leads.
hedgehog.
No, don't
Megan,
bring
you
him
got
up right
this.
now.
That was too real. That was like,
That was beyond a bit because the bit
Oh,
would
yeah.
have been over after the first.
she would have been like, no, come on, guys, and then gone.
But then she like processed it and like
And then she
had
had a
to-
reaction.
Don't
Yeah.
bring him up.
her body just of its own will.
Yeah, even peripherally, I saw that.
Yeah.
Let's not stay on it for too long. Okay.
Please.
Anyway, speaking of shadows,
Uh-huh.
his map leads to a place with bandits
Mhm.
and murderers and thieves.
It does.
And
He went to
You went to my
Washington,
family
D.C.
reunion?
Which one? Take
Which
your
one
pick.
did he go to?
right or left?
He went to the Senate?
Uh,
That's what Washington, D.C. was implying.
Which one? Pick one.
He said,
do I have to?
yes.
And remember, apparently Cody's pho broth was, off the charts.
It
So-
is. It's better. I eat more pho than you do.
And that's really what that comes down to. It doesn't mean you're a better cook.
Experience?
It just
Okay.
means you're a better cook. If it was
Wait.
a pho competition,
It just means I'm a better cook?
no, it doesn't mean you're a better cook. It just means you're better at cooking pho.
It means I'm better
But
at
he doesn't
understanding
cook the pho.
ingredients and
Exactly. He doesn't
combination.
even cook the pho.
It means whose broth tasted better?
It doesn't matter whose broth tasted better. I could put
If I did nothing and won and yours lost, it means you're a worse cook because you ruined it.
no,
I enhanced it.
You know what it is? You eat pho. Your taste for pho is more in line with what people who like pho eat. I don't like pho, so as much as you.
What?
As much as you. As
Now,
much as
now
you.
he's
What?
going to say,
As
I
much as you.
don't even like it.
As
And
much as
I
you.
want it to taste
I'm a
like
picky
something
eater.
different.
I'm a picky eater. And you know that. And you know that.
I don't believe you're a picky eater.
I'm not picky about. I'm not picky.
No.
Look, I find stuff I like and I eat a lot of it. Okay. I'm still picky. All right. I'm not. If I like
no,
something.
you pick a lot.
Yeah, I'm peckish, whatever. Piggish, probably too.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
You're a piggy eater.
I'm a piggy.
So they go to the
Yeah.
thieves,
Okay, sorry.
and he's on his way, and he's like, "Why did you bring me here, Piao? Like, why did you send me here? What is this map? What is these details? Is this even real?" He ends up at an abandoned shack, and before that, he has some run-ins with some thieves, and they're gonna beat his ass, and then he kind of beats their ass pretty easily. He is kind of beat though, but he's been, fighting he's been fighting one person for a long time. I guess that got him like really strong. But he goes into the shed and
Who
well
is there?
be it. It's Piao.
It's his friend.
It's his friend. It's his little old friend.
In that moment, what did you guys think there was some magic at play? What did you guys think?
I thought
You-
Prince and the Pauper situation.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Oh,
a
you guys got it right
doppelganger,
away.
but a twin. I was like, twin.
I just
That
wasn't
makes sense because
clear
orphan, who knows?
who was who.
Okay.
But I was like, oh, was that the king pretending to be his friend so he could like
I didn't even get there.
recover?
I didn't even get there.
And so like it's gonna be a twist where it's like, oh, now he has to pretend to be the king
Right.
while the king. Well, it wouldn't be a twist; it would just be the actual thing.
yeah, I didn't
Maybe it
even
would have
get
been
there.
a little more interesting. And I don't mean to
No, I need this.
I don't mean to if you are a fan of the series, I don't mean to take away from that. But it's not. It's the king.
I
is
don't want to
the
take
king.
away, but it's not.
It's the king.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't even get there. I just thought it was like a twin situation and
Lost at birth.
lost at
'Cause they were
birth. They were
orphans.
orphans. You never know what could happen.
That could still be the
during
case.
the war. Yeah, because they look pretty much identical. Oh, and I did want to mention like the art style too before. And Piao had that like monologue type thing where he's like, "No, I'm going for sure." Like the eyes really did remind me of like the intensity of like Attack on Titan. Like,
I did get that a little bit too.
The eyes were super intense, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of little AOT-ish vibes."
Yeah, I
just
got
wanted
that
to throw
vibe too.
that
The
out
art
there.
style, I would say, is very different, but something about it, and it might be the intensity, like you were talking about, does feel like Attack on Titan a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, solid observation.
And that's it. And he meets him, and it's the King of Qin. And
The King of Queens.
The King of Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said it before
Yeah.
I could say it. Yeah.
And
he did that.
and this is the big twist. This is the big sort of moment, the big reveal. It's sort of, there's also another bandit that they've befriended who is a mysterious person in a like bird costume.
Which I already liked. I drew it the minute I saw it on the first page.
Cute character.
I'm like, who is this guy?
Even cuter once it's revealed,
Mhm.
but cute, before the reveal as well.
Mhm.
The king basically tells our main character sort of everything that's going on, and that the plan was basically that they knew this sort of rebellion was going to happen, and so his advisor found him and he was a plan B. Our main character's friend was a plan B. That makes our main character very upset. How could you call him a plan B? He had a life. He had people that cared about him. He was a person with dreams. They both want to be, and maybe we should have said this earlier, but their dream is they both have the dream of being the best general or one of the top generals, and also that they can live the life that they've always wanted to live, free of slavery, have a big mansion, have all the girls, have all the luxuries of life. And his dream was cut short. What another beautiful moment is, getting a little more serious, back to it, is that as he died, as his friend was dying, he asked him about that dream. And he told his friend, or he told the main character, my dream is still possible because we are one and the same. I am with you always. And so now it feels like our main character, something is unlocked in him and he is stronger because now he is carrying the weight of both of their dreams, even though they are the same dream. And I could say dream a couple more times if I really tried, but I'm not. And so that was a beautiful moment too. And again, not to take away or be reductive, but this story does have some sweet moments like that. And at the point where they're in this cabin, now there's a cut to the kingdom, and we see the king's brother, who is just a snot-nosed little kid who is upset because he is the only one pure of blood. The next in line, our king that looks like our main character's friend, his mother was a dancer at the castle. So he is not of pure blood.
He's not happy about it.
And the way that they go about showing this was also a cool moment, because he does one of those exposition dumps you think to set up this guy as his right-hand man. And he tells this beautiful story about how this kid was a nobody and a nothing and the son of a blacksmith, and he worked hard and he did everything he could to rise through the ranks against all odds, becoming a member of the royal council.
He's like kneeling and he's like all proud that he's being announced this way, and he's just like, yes, I did do all those things.
Yeah. And then he immediately kills him.
Yeah, with that, he has a huge sidekick type of guy. And I do like the character designs of these not, I wouldn't say side characters because they are main characters, but I do when I first saw them, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then another character further down, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I did like the designs. I thought they were interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Cody?
I like the outfit they wore in the live action. I thought that looked really cool.
Yeah. It did look kind of cool, huh?
I just like when characters dress normally.
They did dress kind of normally in this, right? For the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wearing robes and, no giant shoulder pads and stuff.
Bird outfits?
Bird outfit. But that's just what you do for fun.
Well, he does that specifically because of where he's from. He's from the mountain people. So he wears that as his garb.
Yeah.
To hide as an owl.
Yeah. And he is a very welcomed addition.
Liao Diao?
Liao the owl?
Liao Diao.
Oh.
Liao Diao. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, it is a pronouncing Japanese names, I always feel a lot of pressure, and I always want to get it right. And I do feel like
how about Chinese names?
Chinese names, I always want to get every name I pronounce right. Why would you set me up like this? Why would you twist my words?
Well,
he was about to explain it, and you're like, actually.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say actually. You said Japanese names, but we're talking about Chinese names.
No, I know, but I just feel like
a manga.
I feel like
it's all the same.
Oh well, we can cut that up and recontextualize that.
Yeah,
I'm clarifying for you. You said Japanese, Chinese.
No, it's not what I said.
That's not what she said, nor is
not
it
what I said at all.
I was going to say
actually,
that Chinese names are a little harder, I feel like, for me to pronounce. And so I hope that if you are a fan of this series, give us, cut us some slack. Okay, we're trying.
Comment the pronunciation because I just write it down how it's written. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Well, how about this? If you're going to comment it phonetically because it does know.
Phonetically.
You just type it out there it's not said this way. It's said that. Well, that doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The issue a lot with manga is you don't know how it's said out loud.
Yeah, and so we really appreciate it. We really appreciate it when people let us know how things are pronounced, because we have done many Berserk episodes and apparently have pronounced Judeo or Judeo's name wrong for
The whole
hours
time.
of conversation.
Yeah, the whole time.
Owls of conversation.
Owls. And speaking of owls, yes, we're back.
We're back. So the owl pretty much he's on the floor and he feels like a rumbling, and sure enough, this whole army is like on its way to like beat their asses, and he's like, I'm gonna get him. And then the king's like, you're really gonna fight a whole army? He's like, yep. And he's like, okay, get my back. And then the owl's like, no, I know a way out of here. Like, come with me. And then they leave. So they evade the fight. And then he just basically says, like, I will show you how to get out, but I know you have money, so like, just give me some money.
How can we trust you? We don't know anything about you. You're even hiding your identity in your face. And that's when they show their face, and they are a young girl. What?
Is it a girl?
It's a girl. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
mean, again, the translation I read, it was very clear.
It's set up that it's like, okay, so that guy looks like a beautiful person. It's like, oh no, that is a guy though. And then so I'm like, well, that's two guys, so they have to have that's like how any story you're like, well, they have to have a girl because now there's two guys.
Why would they have to?
That's just how every story with teams work. They always have to have it be like diverse.
And you feel like that's too many? Or
Yeah,
too many girls or what?
Well, there was two guys, so if you were gonna come at me for that, you'd have to say like there are too many guys. That was a problem with you, so they had to add a girl.
Oh, so you think that they just have to? You think that?
Well, you don't think that they want to add it.
Yeah, you don't
think that they want to have a strong female character. You say, oh, we just have to do it.
Well, I think if they do, they're
what
going
you
to say we need a strong female character instead of I have a character that does this, and
Mm-hmm.
they're a girl. So yes, that is forced. In Seinfeld, it was forced.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, we have to do this. A lot of stories are we need to include.
People love
this.
that show.
It's a great show.
I should watch more of it.
Did you finish it?
No.
You didn't finish Seinfeld?
No, I didn't finish Seinfeld. What am I, 70 years old? What am I, 70 years old?
Well,
you watch Frasier?
I love Frasier.
Well,
that's even worse. That's even worse.
That's a much older show.
That's even worse.
My grandparents liked Frasier, and they would put it on. Is this my what?
So you watched the show for grandparents?
No, I watched it with my grandparents, peripherally, actually. That's also how I consumed Days of Our Lives. And that's also how I could like Sand Through the Hourglass. And that's also how I consumed the Andy Griffith Show.
Okay.
I love this episode.
Okay. So we pretty much get the whole spiel from the king also that he was put on the throne at 13 years old, which I thought wasn't that bad. I mean, that makes sense for the time. Like,
yeah, it happens all the time.
And they were like shocked. They're like 13, and I'm like, I thought that was normal for that time to have like a younger person because they didn't live too long.
Yeah, I mean, I thought so too, but I actually think it's more so that he's just pissed that he's not of royal blood, and
also
this throne was like hard to maintain for whatever reason.
Yeah, and he was just like kind of like a figurehead. He was just on the throne to be on the throne. Yeah, an ornament. They said an ornament a lot. Christmas is coming up.
It is.
So
as of this recording,
just thought I'd throw that out here. But yeah, that's pretty much where they're at. They're going through the forest, and then the whole splat thing happens. We already went over that.
Yeah, and they follow them through, right? They have all these underground tunnels that they're following them through because, again, this kid, his brother, who is the bad egg, has sent an entire army after him and his advisor, who they're also slowly starting to realize is more of a threat than they thought. And one of the officials sends an assassin after them. Now, this guy looked a lot like a Berserk character or a character you might see from Berserk. He is he kind of looks like one of the homunculus from Full Metal. Gluttony. He kind of looks like Gluttony a little bit, and he's got like robes with eyes on him, maybe a little cushion too.
Yeah. He has his legs can't be beat. Yeah. So he's on the prowl for them.
Which is how I like my assassins.
Yeah.
With the legs that can't be beat.
Yeah. Me too, actually. And he.
Megan?
How do you like your assassin?
With a lot of ass.
That's
the most respectable.
That's super. Yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. So they're, this assassin is after them. Cody, what's wrong?
It's just
We're going through it. They're on the run. There's a tiger that gets killed. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
That was cool. The tiger did not stand a chance.
The assassin's ability to use these poison darts.
So you really, I mean, it's looking grim for this group of people. And they're starting to open up a little more. And then we get Shin. Is it?
Shin is the main character.
Shin, the main character. He's beaten up pretty bad. Passes out. And the owl kid's like, we have to take him. Like, can we wait a little longer? And he's like, I can't wait. I have to get back to the palace like right away. And he's like, can we just wait? And they do that cool thing with the shot and they're running and you think that they left him behind. And then he goes, oh, that's a pretty heavy sword, right? And they cut to him and he's carrying him. And I was like, oh, that was sweet.
Yeah.
That was kids helping kids,
Yeah.
A fun turn that the king was carrying the guy.
The peasant.
Because he's telling him the whole time, too, like, you're just a weapon to me. But I think he's being a tsundere a little bit. I think he really does.
Totally,
care. He does have a heart.
Well, we have that moment when he wakes up and they're fighting, or before that when they're in the caves, and he's beating the shit out of the king.
Yeah,
and
him
he's really messing him up, and he goes like, you did this, like, you took him, blah, blah. And he's like, I asked him. Yeah. And he said that he was more than willing to die for me and this kingdom. So you look pretty stupid right now, don't you?
In that flashback, too, you saw the advisor kind of try to, like, sugarcoat it and try to maybe even lie a little bit, too.
Yeah.
A rebellion's not going to happen.
But if it does, we just want to
to
cover all of our bases here.
And then the king comes in and he's like, just be honest. A rebellion is like for sure gonna happen.
It's happening right now.
Yeah, it's happening right as we speak.
You're gonna die.
You probably will die.
Yeah.
And he's just like, you know what? I came here knowing that I might die.
It's an honor.
It's an honor to be part of this mission, and I would be more than grateful to help you out. So he was. I mean, they kind of like made it seem like he, I don't know, was put in the position. And they're like, okay, you go fight now. But no, like they asked him before, which was like pretty interesting how they gave him the plan,
Yeah.
And not just been like, you're doing this, instead of like having like a conversation, like the king was having an actual conversation with him about it. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, but that was because it was like, well, you're a body double. So
yeah,
it's going to be sweet 99% of the time. But there's the 1% of your job is going to really suck, which is dying.
Well, wasn't that a big thing with royalty too? They would have like someone look similar to them and they would go out and do stuff.
Yeah, do public appearances.
Yeah,
do
that's
food.
It still happens.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Food testers would be like, look, as long as the food isn't poisoned, you get to eat the finest foods.
That's crazy.
In the kingdom.
Yeah.
But if it is poisoned, you will die.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a risk you gotta be willing to take.
It's either that or like.
You think they still have jobs like that you could get?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can sign up for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like eating, like testing food for free.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, you might get poisoned though. Are you like looking into that?
No,
like,
but
is that something that you'd be interested in?
No, I know. I just think that there are a lot of products that quality control and stuff.
You can be a food tester, like ice cream places do things where they just you just like test the new recipes and stuff, and
yeah.
We should wrap this up. So I got some
applications
to put in.
Fill out.
I got a suit to put on.
Yeah, maybe you'll switch places with like the son of the CEO of like an ice cream company. And they're like, I'm so tired of all this ice cream. And you're like, and I'm so tired of all this pot. And you switch places.
That's cool. That's a manga.
We just need a pun on ice cream podcasting and Prince and Popper.
Mm.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop
Well,
it.
right now, Prince the podcaster.
Pecans and the pralines.
Yeah. Pecans.
You like that?
You interrupt. Prince the podcaster, I feel.
Yeah, I think.
I was going more the
Prince the pralines?
Pecans and the praline. I was going more the ice cream route.
Okay. What is praline?
It's a type of nut.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe 2 coffees. It's a mistake.
Anyway, kind of to finish it all out, to round it all out, to top it all off. The end of the story here,
with like nuts topping on ice cream. Oh yes. You didn't know where I was going with that.
I was afraid.
Where did you think I was going?
Who knows at this point?
Because you looked like disgusted.
Well, because you were talking about nut and like topping.
We were talking about nuts.
When I said nuts, where did your mind go?
I mean, I feel like where all of our minds went.
We laughed because that joke was nutty.
Yeah, literally.
Nuts are funny?
Yeah.
You guys think nuts are funny?
Yeah.
A little.
story is basically that they're running through the woods.
This was because of drugs.
And the king is now tired and fatigued, but the main character is fully recovered. He's like, hop on my back. He's like, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. And then they're like, why is this other kid in the bird costume still around if I don't even have money to give you because I don't know when I'm going to get back to the castle? And the bird's like, well, because if I let you go, then I don't know when I'm going to see that money, and I need to see that money. And then they decide that they need to find, I think, the advisor, right? They need to find the advisor because there's multiple rendezvous spots, and they're going to the next rendezvous spot, the backup, or the alternate rendezvous spot. Meanwhile, this assassin's hot on their trail, and we find out that there was a pretty boy knight or a pretty boy,
General Wang Kui,
who apparently killed the advisor or is walking around acting like he killed the advisor. I have a sneaky suspicion that somehow, because we never see him do it, I have a sneaky suspicion that something else, happened. Occurred. Yeah. And
transpired.
And so they're on the way. They find this opening. They're running through. They're using these little idols in the ground as markers, and they find this like opening in a rock. They go through it, and there's just like oasis with this like island and a little shack inside of it. And they say, "We're here." The end.
And that's
Look. I understand why people like it. I think it does have a lot going for it. If battles, kingdoms, it has, I think where people maybe might have thought that this would be something that we would enjoy is because that while there are aspects of that in Berserk and in things like Prince Freya or even Vinland Saga, what Berserk has going for it is obviously its characters, but the magic system as well is so interesting. Prince Freya, what I think has going for it is just its ability to make you care for all of these characters and for you to be more invested in the not necessarily the political drama, but the sort of like the backstabbiness and sort of like the shortness that you know what I mean, the sort of the, what do you call it when like the tongue in cheek kind of like aspect of this. Oh, Cody. These relationships.
I didn't do that.
And then I think what Vinland Saga is just good. Vinland Saga is just really good. It doesn't have magic in it necessarily, but it's just a solid story.
A problem that started with me right off the bat was the way they fight is pretty like anime, but it's supposed to be a mundane setting. So like immediately I'm like, I don't know what, I think it's really hard to see something like if it's going to be normal people with no magic, then the fighting should be like mundane. But if they're still doing like teleporting behind you and stuff, I'm like, oh, well, what is this supposed to be serious?
Yeah. Is there anything else outside of that you guys feel like was another reason that you had a hard time connecting with this? I mean, again, like not that we want to focus entirely on negatives or anything, but we want to be honest about, our feelings on a series. We don't want to always say just because something is popular that we loved it. So again, not to focus on negatives, but just to sort of maybe express if there's anybody else out there that might be on the fence about it. What are some other things that you liked or didn't like about it, or that were a turn on or turn off?
I don't necessarily go towards like historical manga or anime necessarily. I did really like Golden Kamuy.
Great. Yeah.
Which is historical and set in the past. I did really enjoy that. That's probably one of the first ones that I was like, okay, like I can definitely get into this. I kind of not stray away, but it just doesn't really interest me. And this was kind of the type of story that I wouldn't necessarily pick up on my own or watch on my own. And also the war aspect of it, just coming off of Berserk and reading the volumes that we did read. And that was heavy. This was, 10 times heavier. But again, like, if you're into historical manga, if that like interests you, if you like war, if you like, battles, if you like strategy, I think that you'll really like this manga. Again, we've only read the first volume, so I don't know where it goes up from here. But definitely, I don't think I'll continue to read it or watch it at all. But I don't think it was like necessarily at all horrible. I did like aspects of it. And I think that like everything that you said, like it kind of fits in that mold of like, Vagabond, Berserk, more Vagabond, I guess, to this. I would compare it to, I wouldn't really compare it to Berserk just because it's more in the same type of thread, I think. But yeah.
and there was a character who gave another character a piggyback and sort of piggyback off what Cody said. Yes, it also just like reminds you constantly of other stories and does things that other stories do. But the thing is, it seems like those stories do it better, at least to me. I want to set the record straight and say I didn't think it was horrible at all. It was just boring to me, personally. But I do think that there is obviously an audience for it. And I think that, there are people who will and do love it. And I do understand, and I can see why. But Cody, go ahead.
I thought it was pretty bland and generic. All I could think of would be like, oh, you should check out Vinland Saga, Prince Freya. Did I say Vagabond?
Yeah, Vinland Saga, Prince Freya, Vagabond, and I think there was one more that we found. Golden Kamuy.
All I could think of was like, well, you would probably enjoy these much more.
Much more, I feel like.
Which I would too.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, like we said, like you guys have recommended us to us like nonstop. Like, check this out. Please check out Kingdom. Please check out Kingdom. So like, if you have any like points or any I was gonna say what deterioration something to deter us from our opinion. Like, we always like hearing comments
or any counterpoints, I guess.
Yeah, like seeing comments
and
about
anything
that.
and everything. And if you're a regular watcher or listener of this show, then we just like to have fun. It's all in good spirit. It's all in good fun. But yeah, it would be nice to hear what you connect with when it comes to the story, things that you took away from it, things that you really liked about it. Because again, it's all in good fun, and we don't want to bash anything into the ground.
Yeah, and even later on, like things that happen later on, like interesting points that would be. Maybe tag your spoilers if you do mark spoilers, just because it's not only for us, it's for other people reading the comments about the series. But I'd be interested in seeing like
absolutely
where this goes, because I don't think I'll pick it up again. So
yeah. Cody, anything else? Okay. And that's going to do it for the Kingdom discussion review. Let us know, like Megan said, your thoughts on the series. Again, we don't come here to just tear stuff down. We want to hear good things you have to say about it, or any critiques that you have of it as well. We want to hear it all. Let us know what you think of Kingdom, and give us some more review, or give us some more recommendations for reviews. We are not done yet. We have to get to our other amazing segment, the Wonders Circle. The Wonders Circle, of course, is the segment on our show where our artificial intelligence, our AI, Volume 1, Sean, goes through comments that you've left on some of our previous videos, picks a few of them, and reads them aloud to us for us to respond to. If you want one of your comments read in a future Wonder Circle, all you have to do is leave a comment on this video or any of our previous videos. But with all of that said, Volume 1, Sean, can you take it away with the first comment, please?
This one comes from Superior Spider-Man.
Great character.
I was harsh, I won't lie, but you've all won me over. Yes, even you, Cody.
Wow.
How does that make you feel?
To be won over by the mighty One Piece fans.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was on a One Piece episode, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think it
Yeah.
would have to be.
It would have
Yeah.
to be. Yeah, there's no other episode.
Yeah, people don't hate you as much as they do on those
Yeah.
episodes.
Yeah, I got to.
I mean, that was like the first episode. I think that, Luffy for you. I mean, for me too. I would like, he really is kind of amping up in his leader skills. So I think that was maybe the reason you were like making points to that. But
well, I mean, yeah, because if my issues get resolved, I stop having issues.
yeah,
Again, you're not hating just to hate.
yeah.
No, it's just
exactly.
like the character did not have a single point that made me like him.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
a negative point would be until like chapter 100, he got a legitimate moment.
Yeah.
But it's like, am I supposed to know that's going to happen in 100 chapters?
And again, like we were saying in the episode, like they are just so far ahead. They have consumed so much One Piece. They know Luffy for the Luffy they know now versus the Luffy we know. So it's like, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
this is what I mean. You like when I've said a series gets better later on. Do I say like that means like the beginning isn't bad? There's a series I was talking about with you were there with Helldivers with Frank, which is like, oh, the first book is terrible.
Yeah.
I have no problem saying that. It gets better later on, but like to be like, no, you can't say it's bad now because later on it'll get better. Like, well, that part was still bad.
Yeah, and I think it's just a small portion of a larger fan base, but the problem is that portion is just louder.
What confused me the most is it said you guys won them over too, and it's like, they were against you. Why were they
Maybe.
against you guys?
I don't know. Maybe
Because we're friends with you.
we're associated. Yeah.
Guilty by
association.
Association.
What's it?
Codiation.
I was
Oh, wow,
Cody
that's good.
Nation.
yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
Cody Gang, Cody Nation.
Cody Nation.
Volume 1, Sean, can you hit us with the second comment, please?
This one comes from Techno Tengu. I mean, I understand the idea of keeping everything more vague for the sake of listeners, but as a warehouse dog, I love the longer episodes where I can just hear y'all go off in a new world each week.
Each week.
That is a thing where it's like entertainment in a warehouse is so important. So it's like you know, if a podcast episodes are like 50 minutes, I'm like, oh, good thing I'm 3 years behind, so I can catch up. But once it's like, I need like, you know, you have hours of entertainment that are sectioned off, and you're like, I need 8 hours each day of entertainment, or I'll lose my mind.
Yeah, I was a warehouse dog for a short amount of time, especially compared to you. But I also learned in that amount of time that how paramount it is to your sanity to have long form things for you that you can count on listening to. We just wanted to experiment and just try something. And I think it was a perfect series to try it with. It was more just for full transparency, just, maybe because our audience currently doesn't really seem to have an appetite, as big of an appetite for slice of life as they do with other series or for other series. We just thought maybe as a way to make it a little more enticing for everybody, we could make it a little shorter, a little tighter, and hopefully it would incentivize people who normally wouldn't click on those videos to click on that video. However, it has seemed like a resounding, I don't know, everybody seems to be in agreement that they like longer episodes better than shorter episodes.
Yeah, there are people saying, do you?
Mhm.
When they're like, oh, you're experimenting? Like, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, a lot of people are saying, like, there were comments saying, like, oh, episodes should be an hour longer now that you have, like, guests on.
Yeah. And so I do think that, yes, we have read all of those comments. And I think that, we're going to stick to doing the longer form episodes. And as people have suggested, and what was already a plan of ours, is that we are also going to start maybe clipping things from those longer episodes and releasing those. So thank you for your feedback. Because it really does help us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Volume 1, Sean, can you hit us with the third and final comment, please?
This one comes from Anime Freak. I just started this episode. Chopper is a reindeer that becomes a human. So he's a were-human, not a were-reindeer, guys.
Cody, you've been made a fool.
Now, nothing has
You have
proved
been
to me
made an absolute
more.
fool.
Because people don't realize when you're talking about werewolves, you have entered my domain.
Oh, the Cody.
shit.
Nothing has confirmed to me more that One Piece. This guy was cool, by the way. We talked, but like, there was one guy that was not cool about it, and it's like you're wrong. Also, nothing has confirmed to me that they just want to be like, actually, no, that's not.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he would be a were-human, and what does were mean in
Actually,
a werewolf?
Upon further research, which we definitely did do, what do you call it?
I was thinking etymology, but that's
the
not right.
etymology.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think that is what it is. The origin of the word were is actually human. It means human.
It means man. Now, if you're like,
Or man, yeah.
But what's your basis of werewolf meaning man wolf when it's a human who becomes a wolf? Why would that be? People think were means wolf, so people think werewolf is wolf, which is what dogs make.
Woof, woof.
There you go.
There we go.
There we go.
Now again, I cannot. I've never. There's very
Eat 'em
few
up.
things I'm this
Chew
confident
them up,
about.
spit them out.
But you're wrong about werewolves, about lycanthropy. I know all the versions. I know
Oh,
the
wow.
French versions. I know the
Hit 'em with
French,
the French
version
version.
is a werewolf that transforms consciously by will, the one that's more popular in fantasy. You're gonna come at me and saying he's a were-reindeer because he is a man reindeer. This is just how words work. Now, if One Piece fans are gonna
Wow.
come at me, you can come at me about your fucking stretchy man, but you're gonna come at me about
Wow.
werewolves? No, you're wrong.
And for the record, and just to set the record straight, you did talk to him and he was a cool guy.
Oh, he was so cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had fun.
Oh.
But it was some fun.
Yeah.
There was one guy who's like, he's not a werewolf. And I'm like, no, he's not. That's why we didn't call him that.
Yeah.
But these freaking people they would really just rather ignore things that even confirm what they are saying.
Mm-hmm.
So they can be like, freaking, you didn't know, he's not a werewolf. Yeah, he's not. You know why we all know that? Because we all said that.
Go off, King.
Thank you so much.
Go off, dude. I love it. I'm
Gonna
here
come
for
at
it.
me about werewolves. You have no idea the things I know.
And look, dude, maybe just, think twice before you, come at Cody like he said for everything else.
Yeah,
But-
but think
But
twice.
think twice.
Yeah, look at the moon before you do
Mhm.
it. You know?
Yeah, check yourself and check the moon
Yeah.
before you come at Cody.
Because the wolves are out.
That's gonna do it for another episode. Thank you guys for sticking around. Thank you guys for staying to the very end. If you did, I hope you had as much fun as I did recording this episode, because I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. And you can let us know if you did in the comments down below. The only thing we have to do before we get to our outro, that's always the same and never changes, though, is to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, our warriors, our Patreon members. You guys are amazing. You guys are a united army, a united front that I would go to war for.
You guys are my kings and queens.
Yes.
What else? You guys
What
are
else happened?
something with owls.
If you guys came to my doorstep all bloody and cut up, I would try my best to help you guys out.
I'd
Oh,
give
for
you
sure.
a piggyback ride
Yeah.
through the forest.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We do all that and so much more for you guys. Thank you for all of your support. And if you would like to become a Patreon member yourself, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. That's patreon.com/volume1pod, where you'll get early access to all of our videos, and you'll get access to our exclusive bonus Patreon podcast, Volume 1 Extra, where we talk about anime, manga, news-related things, video games. We talk about life. We talk about any and everything that we want to talk about. We don't talk about politics.
Find out our exclusive political opinions.
No, we really don't dive into politics.
We really
So
don't.
don't subscribe if you're looking for that.
Or do, but you can do that again and have access to all of that at our lowest tier for just $3. Any amount of support helps us so much. And again, if you'd like to do that, patreon.com/volume1pod. Thank you so much.
Now, I know you're thinking, but I'm just a poor slave who I don't have the
To system,
money
to the man.
to
Oh yeah.
to give to the Patreon gang. Well, there's another clan you can join.
Yep.
What's the name of this clan, Megan?
It's called the Algorithm Gang, and you can join the Algorithm Gang
You can.
by commenting whatever you want in any of our episodes. You can comment the word comment, you can comment a period, you can comment Algorithm Gang, pretty much anything you want, and it really helps us out with the algorithm and our videos.
And also liking the video helps a lot too, Cody.
Yeah.
Why does it help?
Well, because each engagement, including positive engagement like a like, increases ad revenue that comes through. So from YouTube, so you can view that as actually tipping us.
Absolutely.
At no cost to yourself.
No cost to yourself. And you can do all that free of charge. And we appreciate all of your support, no matter how you choose to show it. It all means the world to us. And with that, we bid you adieu. Thank you again for staying to the very end. The only thing we have left to do now is get out of here on our outro. That's always the same and never changes, which today is... Come on, guys. I feel like you guys are thinking of only mean things to say right now.
This didn't make me kingdom come.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time, this
This
manga
manga did not make me kingdom come.
No, it did not.
I was gonna say King Come.
Oh, wow.
That's true.
I'm